It started with one can, just one. The first sip sent a surge of vitality through me, a spark that burned brighter than anything I'd felt in months. That was when the obsession began. I convinced myself it was harmless, just fuel for late-night gaming. But soon, one can became two, then three. By the time I saw the poster for the Prime Energy Challenge, I was already averaging 6 a day. "Whoever drinks the most cans in an hour wins," the poster declared. A year's supply of Prime Energy and $10,000 cash. It felt like destiny. I started training immediately. Every day I pushed my body further, guzzling can after can until my stomach felt like it would burst. My body adapted. At least that's what I thought. The sleepless nights, the jittery hands, small prices to pay for greatness. The day of the competition, the stage was electric. The air buzzed with caffeine-fueled excitement as the crowd roared, their energy feeding into my already over-amped nerves. My chest puffed out with confidence. Opponents lined up beside me, but I barely acknowledged them. The announcer's voice boomed.
"Are you ready?"
The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. I cracked open the first can, chugging it like it was water. The carbonation burned my throat, but I welcomed the sensation. The crowd cheered as I slammed it onto the table and reached for the next. One by one, the cans disappeared. My training had paid off. My hands moved on autopilot, my throat a tunnel for the sugary liquid. 10 cans in, and I felt invincible. But by the 15th can, something shifted. My stomach, bloated and taut, churned ominously. Each gulp sent a wave of pressure surging through my body, the carbonation fighting for space in my overloaded gut. Still, I pressed on. The crowd's chants grew louder, their enthusiasm drowning out the alarm bells ringing in my head. I could taste the finish line. Victory was within reach. Then came the 16th can. As the liquid hit my throat, my body rebelled. I gagged, the carbonation bubbling up faster than I could swallow. Panic set in as I tried to force it down, but my body had had enough. With a violent heave, I spewed a torrent of fluorescent liquid across the stage. Gasps erupted from the audience. I collapsed to my knees, clutching my swollen stomach as the announcer declared the winner. 3rd place. After everything, I was only good enough for 3rd. That night, back in my apartment, the humiliation burned almost as much as my stomach. I hadn't eaten all day, yet I felt fuller than ever. My gut was a rock, stretched tight and unyielding. Sleep eluded me. Each time I closed my eyes, I could feel the energy coursing through me, keeping my heart racing and my mind spinning. By the 3rd night, the effects began to show. Sweat poured from my skin in an unrelenting stream, soaking through my clothes and sheets. My pores seemed larger. When I ran my hand over my arm, it came away slick and glistening, as if my body was leaking. Then came the blisters. Tiny water-filled bubbles erupted across my arms, chest and neck, itching and burning with every touch. I tried popping one, but instead of relief, more fluid oozed out, drenching my already saturated skin. I told myself it was temporary, a side effect. It would pass. On the 5th night, exhaustion finally won. I sank into a deep sleep, my body limp for the first time in days. When I woke, the sound of rushing water filled my ears. Groggy, I sat up and froze. My room was flooded. Water covered the floor, lapping against the legs of my bed. The air was humid, suffocatingly warm. I looked down at my body and screamed. Every pore on my skin had stretched into gaping holes, each one a tiny faucet spilling water. My arms, my chest, my legs. Every inch of me was leaking. I tried to stand, but my legs buckled. My muscles, once firm, had turned soft and pliable, like overcooked noodles. The water kept coming, pouring from me in an unending stream. It wasn't just water, it was prime. I could smell it, the sickly, sweet scent that had once been so intoxicating, now making me gag. The room filled quickly. Water rose past my knees, then my waist. I clawed at the walls, desperate for escape, but my strength was gone. My body, my sanctuary, was betraying me. As the water reached my chest, I looked down at my reflection. What stared back was no longer human. My skin was translucent, my features distorted by the ripples. I was melting, dissolving into the flood I had created. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. This was the price of my obsession.
Just leave it at the door. I want to sanitize this entire house. Hurry up.
This mattress still looks brand new. I really hit the jackpot today. Tonight, I'll finally sleep on a warm, comfy bed. This is my home. It's everything I have. As someone uneducated with no place to rely on, I've struggled to survive alone in this suffocating city. I had to learn to save as much as possible, just to build up a little bit of capital so I wouldn't end up wandering the streets. After a long, exhausting day of work, I quickly finished my simple dinner and happily fell asleep on my new mattress. That night, I heard a rustling sound beneath the mattress, but thought it was just the fabric rubbing together. I felt like something was crawling on me, but I convinced myself it was just because I wasn't used to the bed yet. The next morning, I woke up with my body covered in red welts, itching so badly it drove me crazy. That's when I realized there might really be something wrong with the mattress I brought home. I quickly flipped it over. What I saw made my skin crawl. Underneath the mattress were hundreds of bedbugs, wriggling and crawling all over. Terrified, I let go of the mattress immediately. I looked up the cost of bedbug treatments online, but the prices were outrageous. $900 for one cleaning session? Are you kidding me? That's half a month's salary for me. I searched online for ways to get rid of bedbugs. I decided to start with the cheapest method, using baking soda. After finishing, I went out to work, hoping that tonight I'd finally be able to sleep peacefully. That evening, I returned home with a vacuum cleaner I had borrowed from a co-worker. I used it to vacuum up the dead bedbugs and the baking soda from the mattress. After fiddling around for a while, I finally felt like I could get a good night's sleep, but the itching didn't stop. I could feel something biting me, sucking my blood. It was the bedbugs. They were far more stubborn than I had imagined. I grabbed an iron and started pressing the mattress back and forth. The bugs, with their blood-filled bellies, popped with a crisp, crackling sound under the searing heat. Once there wasn't a single bedbug left in sight, I felt reassured enough to go to sleep again. But my peaceful sleep continued to be disrupted. I heard a rustling sound coming from inside my ear. Annoyed, I reached in to clean it out, and I pulled out an entire family of bedbugs. This was beyond what I could tolerate. Terrified, I jumped out of bed, and what I saw froze me in place. There were bedbugs everywhere, on the bed, on the walls, on the sofa, in the kitchen. My home had been completely overrun by bedbugs. Panicked, I ran out of the house. The next morning, I bought a cheap bottle of insect spray. It wasn't specifically for bedbugs, but they're insects too, right? No, Judging by the state of my home, these bedbugs weren't ordinary anymore. They were a bloodthirsty swarm. Furious, I charged into battle against them, determined to reclaim my home. After being sprayed, the bugs seemed to go berserk and started attacking me. Panicking, I sprayed the insecticide on myself. The blisters on my hands flared up, red and painful, like needles piercing my skin. The bottle quickly ran out, but there were still far too many bugs. They climbed over the bodies of their fallen comrades, swarming toward me. A chill ran down my spine and goosebumps prickled my skin. Acting on instinct, I grabbed a lighter and waved it toward the swarm. The bugs, also reacting on instinct, scattered in fear of the fire. Triumphant, I thought to myself, if only I had known this earlier, I wouldn't have wasted money on insecticide. I could have just used fire to drive them out of my house. But my victory was short-lived. A horrible accident happened. The fire from the lighter accidentally caught the insect spray bottle. As I panicked, trying to put out the flames, a searing pain erupted from the blisters on my hands. Horrified, I looked down at my hands. From the blisters, bedbug larvae wriggled out, crawling all over my skin. Terrified, I tried to shake them off, forgetting I was holding the lighter. The fire caught on my clothes and the insecticide I had sprayed on myself, turning me into a living torch.
Recently, a rare fire incident caused by using fire to exterminate bedbugs occurred in a small alley on Triple X Street. The fire left the homeowner severely injured and completely destroyed the house. Even more concerning is that a massive population of bedbugs from the house has dispersed throughout the alley and appears to be increasing rapidly.
No! I don't want to eat sahur!
Tun 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 sahur. Share this with friends who don't eat sahur.
I remember the TikTok. It was meant to be a joke. It had millions of views. Millions. I wanted that for my channel. Anato 6. So I booked my flight to Indonesia. We picked a narrow alley in Yogyakarta. Quiet, grimy, lit only by the dim orange of half-working street lamps. I hired a local actor to wear a ridiculous costume I designed. Exaggerated limbs, painted mask, cartoonish bat. Locals warned us. One old man stared us down, muttered something in Bahasa that I barely caught.
Jangan main-main. Itu bukan untuk lelucon.
My fixer translated, eyes low.
He said, "Don't play with what you don't understand."
We laughed. Come on, it's just a meme. I even shouted down the alley, arms raised. If the real Tung Tung Sahur is out there, come on, show yourself, give us a scare. We laid out a full spread. Nasi lemak, beef rendang, sweet tea. Everything framed perfectly under our soft lights. The plan was simple. I'd pretend to sleep on a mat while our actor banged a drum 3 times off screen. Tongue, tongue, tongue. I don't respond. Then, on the 4th beat, he storms in, smacks me with the bat, shoves food in my mouth and dances to the audio.
Tung 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 sahur. A terrifying anomaly that only appears during sahur.
We hit record. The first takes were hilarious, until they weren't. On the final shot, just after our actor finished his bit and stepped off camera, tongue, a 4th drum beat. But no one was supposed to hit it yet. I sat up. Who did that? No answer. Our cameraman, Buddy, chuckled, unsure.
Wasn't me.
Then tongue, 2 more. But this sound wasn't part of our gear. It was deeper, wetter, like something rotting was vibrating inside the drumhead. Then, tongue, the 4th. The lights blew out, street lamps dimmed to a dying ember, and something stood behind the feast. It was not our actor. This thing was taller, broader. Its mask wasn't foam, it was real wood, rotting and splintered. The bat in its hand wasn't fake. It was gnarled, heavy and stained with something dark. We froze. I tried to laugh. Okay, who's messing with us? But my voice cracked. Buddy stepped forward.
I'm checking this out.
He reached for the mask. The thing moved like lightning. Crack. The bat dropped onto his head. His skull collapsed like an eggshell. Blood sprayed across the table. Then came the screaming. We ran, split down different alleys, stumbling through tight corridors and flickering shadows. Behind me, tongue, a slow beat. Then ahead, tongue. It didn't run, it didn't need to. It knew the alleys better than us. It herded us. One by one, my team vanished. I heard Nia's voice, our assistant, crying, choking, then crack. I ducked into a mushola, a small neighborhood prayer room. Inside, an old man sat cross-legged, whispering prayers. He didn't look up.
You brought it here. You mocked the Sahur call. You summoned judgment.
I begged him for help.
You turned sacred rhythm into performance. And now you must face the consequences. You don't belong here.
He said coldly.
Run.
I found an empty house a few doors down. Dead plants, cracked windows, something ancient in the dust. I locked the door, shoved a chair under the knob, collapsed in the corner. But then, tongue. I jolted awake. Tongue. No, please. Not again. Tongue. The 3rd beat. Then the 4th. It stooped to pass through the doorway, impossibly tall, a towering silhouette that defied reason. Its mask was fractured, the broken pieces revealing dark, hollow voids beneath, pulsing hunger.
Wake up and eat.
I ran. It followed. Through the rotting house, smashing through walls like they were paper. I tripped, fell down a staircase, felt my shins snap. I crawled. It caught me. It didn't kill me. It broke me. One arm, then the other, legs next. It set me upright like a doll at the dinner table, the one we had prepared.
You will not waste Sahur.
It hissed. It shoved cold rendang into my mouth. I gagged, vomited. It scooped it up, shoved it back in.
You prepared this meal.
It whispered.
You will finish it.
I don't know how long it went on. I chewed through the tears, through pain, through blood and bile. Because if I didn't, it beat me harder. Until the plate was clean, until the table was empty. And when it was satisfied, it stood, looked down on me, silent, then turned, and vanished into the dark. I collapsed to the floor. Everything in me screamed. My stomach twisted, my limbs hung uselessly. But worse than the pain was what settled in my chest. Regret. Not for chasing the views, not for flying halfway around the world for a video, but for the blasphemy, for making a meme out of something sacred, for mocking what others revere, for turning ritual into spectacle, faith into content,